Okay, let's dive right into this explainer, because today we're looking at a truly powerful story that might just completely change how you view your hardest days. We all face moments where the challenges just feel overwhelming, right? Like the storms literally won't let up. But what if those exact struggles were actually the hidden blueprints to your ultimate success? We're going to walk through a beautiful narrative today that holds a really profound lesson about resilience, growth, and why the tough times are, honestly, your greatest advantage. So if you've ever felt beaten down by your circumstances, you'll definitely want to stick with me on this one.
We start our story with a young boy on summer holiday. He loves spending his days playing with his grandpa, and, well, like a lot of us, when we look up to someone wise, he's kind of looking for a shortcut. He wants the secret recipe. So he walks right up to his grandfather and asks, "When I grow up, I want to become a successful man. Can you tell me how to be successful?" I mean, it's the universal question, isn't it? We all want to know the absolute best way to reach our potential.
Now, instead of just sitting the kid down and giving him a boring lecture or some long list of rules, the grandfather simply smiles, he nods, says, "Of course, I'll show you," and takes the boy to a nearby nursery to buy two small, totally identical, fragile little plants. Because, as we know, true wisdom is often best understood by actually seeing it happen, and this sets the stage for a really powerful lesson.
So the grandfather sets up a little test. He takes the first plant and puts it in a pot right inside the house. Perfectly controlled temperature, no harsh winds, totally safe. But that second plant, he plants it right out in the open garden. Out there, it has absolutely zero protection. It's going to get battered by relentless winds, scorched by the summer sun, and exposed to whatever animals or pests wander by. It is entirely vulnerable to the wild.
Then the grandfather poses a really simple question. He asks the boy to predict the future. Which of these two plants will grow better? And naturally, if we're being honest, the boy's logic makes perfect sense to most of us. He guesses the indoor plant will obviously be the winner. I mean, why wouldn't it be? It's completely safe from danger. It doesn't have to fight to survive. The grandfather just smiles, doesn't correct him at all, and simply says, "Let's see what happens in the future."
Okay, so let's skip ahead. 4 whole years pass. The boy returns for another visit, older and maybe just a little bit more impatient now. He totally remembers that trip to the nursery and immediately calls his grandpa out, saying, "Last time I asked you how to be successful, but you didn't really tell me anything. This time you have to tell me." The grandfather calmly agrees, but insists they first go check on that experiment they started 4 years ago.
First up, the grandfather shows him the safe, indoor plant. They walk over to the pot inside the house, and sure enough, it survived. It's healthy. It did exactly what a protected plant is supposed to do. It grew. But it's just a small tree. It stayed right within the safe, comfortable confines of its little environment and hasn't really achieved anything spectacular. It's alive, well, and honestly, pretty ordinary. But then they step outside into the garden, and what the boy sees is just breathtaking. The plant that was left to face the brutal elements isn't just surviving, it is thriving in a way the indoor plant couldn't even compare to. It has absolutely exploded into this massive, strong tree. Its branches are spread far and wide, its trunk is thick, and it's grown so remarkably large that it's literally providing shade to people passing by.
The boy is completely in shock. The grandfather asks him which plant was more successful, and the boy obviously has to admit it's the one outside. But his mind is reeling. He asks his grandpa, how is this even possible? That outdoor plant was constantly under attack. It faced violent storms, blazing heat, freezing nights, and yet it utterly dwarfed the plant that had a perfectly easy life.
And here is where the grandfather reveals the profound secret. He explains that the outside plant didn't just survive the challenges. Those exact problems forced its roots to grow so deep that a storm can no longer harm it. Every single time the wind battered it, the plant had to respond by pushing its roots deeper just to hold on. When there was a drought, it had to stretch further down for water. The struggles didn't weaken it, they actively built its foundation. Today, because of those past hardships, it's so mighty that a small storm won't even make its leaves tremble. The indoor plant, it never had to fight, so it never developed those unshakable roots.
So the grandfather turns to the boy and finally delivers that lesson he promised. He says, never think of problems as obstacles, think of them as steps towards success. And wow, this completely flips how we should look at our own struggles, doesn't it? Those things we label as enemies or roadblocks, they're actually the specific tools required to make us stronger. If you want a massive, sprawling, impactful life, you literally cannot get there by sitting safely in a pot indoors. The problems you face aren't there to stop you, they're the steps you have to climb.
It really comes down to a choice we all make every single day. The grandfather explains that, yeah, you can totally choose the comfortable route. You can stay in the metaphorical house where it's perfectly safe, but you're severely limiting your own growth. You'll only ever be a small tree. But if you're willing to step outside, to embrace the failures, the risks, and the violent storms of the real world, you build a resilience so profound that absolutely no goal is out of your reach.
The boy finally gets it, and hopefully so do we. Life just isn't a straight, smooth highway. It's an adventure. It's full of unexpected twists, sudden turns, and steep hills. When we start treating life like a dynamic game rather than some unfair, punishing test, our whole mindset shifts. The hard parts aren't punishments designed to break you. They are literally just the next level of the game, designed to test those roots you've been growing.
So those roadblocks that seem to be totally ruining your plans, they're actually incredible opportunities to learn, adapt, and build your own deep roots. Think about when you play a game. The truly fun part is figuring out how to beat the difficult levels, right? Life works the exact same way. When an obstacle drops in front of you, don't view it as an enemy. View it as a puzzle. It's an opportunity to figure out a new strategy, learn a new skill, and just grow a little bit stronger.
So when the hard times hit, don't get discouraged. Instead, try following this exact progression. First, embrace the roadblock. Don't hide from it inside the house, just accept that the storm is here. Second, tackle the challenge head on. Figure out what needs to be done, dig those roots in deep, and fight back. And third, watch yourself level up. Because I promise you, once you push through that specific challenge, you are no longer the same person you were before. You're stronger, you're wiser, and you're far more capable.
If you are going through a setback right now, please remember this. You already possess the spirit and determination to face the storm and keep rising. You don't need to go out and find some magical secret to success, because the secret is already inside you. You have the skills to solve the puzzles. You have the determination to dig your roots deep when the winds blow, and you have that unbroken spirit to face the elements. You are built to survive the outdoors, so don't let temporary roadblocks discourage you from the incredible growth happening right beneath the surface.
I'm going to leave you with this question to carry into your day, just as a reminder that your current challenges are really just the training ground for your future success. Whatever difficulty you're facing right now, at work, in your personal life, or just within yourself, recognize it for what it truly is. It's the wind forcing you to grow stronger. Keep rising, embrace the elements, and let your roots grow deep. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer, and I seriously cannot wait to see the massive trees you all grow into.